Hey, I'm Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and I'm here today to talk about my favorite mechanisms in Stroganov. Stroganov has one of my favorite mechanisms in all games, and that is a one-way time/action selection track, where you can primarily move in one direction along that track, and then at the end of each round, you reset. And I'm going to show you the track for the rest of the video. I'll try to hold this up so you can see what I'm talking about, because this track, the whole game is built around this track. And in this game, you're essentially hunting different animals and using those animals to score points and do other things and sing songs about your glorious hunts. But the designer, Andreas, just fully embraced this time track and did a lot of cool things with it. The first is the hunting itself. So there are little tokens that are placed on the track. They're pretty hard to see here, but they're little animal tokens. And as you move forward along this track, so at the beginning of your turn, you'll move forward a number of spaces along this track, depending on how many horses you use. And you'll end up at a specific tile that has some animals on it. And you can hunt one or more of those animals if you so choose to use your action to do so. So you're on a specific tile, there are animals on that specific tile. So that's one thing. Another thing that you can do while you're in that specific place is that the tile itself that you're on, the location tile, you can actually essentially buy it by using an animal associated with that region, a certain number of that animal depending on how many animal tokens are still on that tile itself. And you can buy that tile and add it to your tableau permanently. And it's worth some endgame points if you have a certain combination of tile types. So you're taking these beautiful tiles off the time track and adding them to your board. And this does some cool things with the time track mechanism itself. Even though it does reset at the end of the round, you kind of slide all the tiles over and add more tiles to the end, location tiles. In the middle of the round, if you remove a tile, that is a tile that someone who is behind you on the time track doesn't have to worry about. So they can jump forward more spaces. So there's this nice kind of, it feels like positive player interaction really, where if I remove a tile, an opponent can jump ahead of me onto the next tile or tiles beyond that because they don't have to worry about that tile that I've removed. The last thing is that each of these, and this, well, you can kind of see it here, the board is broken down into various regions here. And there are a few locations on each region, so a few locations where you can go hunting, a few locations where you can claim those location tiles. But each region also has its own abilities. It has like a first to go here ability if you choose to activate that ability. It has a permanent ability that's always there. And also has a few other, it has like a goal there as well. It also has a place that you can put outpost on that location. And so there's all these things about that location itself that the region being bigger than the tile. So you have these smaller locations and then the bigger region that you interact with while you're there. And last, the outposts I think also do something really neat, because when you put an outpost on a region, then even if you are further up on the time track, you can take the actions associated with that region just because you have an outpost there, which I really like that as well. I don't think I've seen that in a time track game where you have like build something that gives you access to that region of the time track, even if you've moved past it on the track itself. I love what the designer did with this time track. It is so cool. It does so many neat things that I haven't even seen with time track games before, or one-way action selection tracks, given a mechanism that I love, and yet it's so innovative to see this designer do so many cool things with the time track. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. I have a separate video that I'll link in the comments below about other games that use this mechanism, but use it in different ways, and I think this game just does so many creative things with the time track. But let me know if you have a different game, a different favorite game that uses the time track, or if you have a different favorite mechanism in Stroganov itself. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks.